you have a new scavenger hunt
Yes.
at the museum.
Yes, so this is a family scavenger hunt. It's designed for families to work together. However, if they have multiple kids, they can each have their own, because they don't always share. And so in here, it takes them through each section of the museum, but rather than having them find information, it's more of a hunt for something, but then wonder. And then applying it. So it's trying to encourage conversations amongst the family, fun things to do while you're in here. And then at the end, and it has some really fun photos and things that you can take home as part of a souvenir, the kids are going to be able to earn buttons. And these are actual Hoover campaign buttons. So these are reproductions.
Wow.
And every year they're going to change. So for this year, it's this button.
That's fun.
But for the month of August, because of the 150th birthday, we have a special button just for that month, and that will be a collectible. So every year there'll be a special Hoover
Whatever
birthday
area.
button, yeah. But it
That's
is all
pretty
about that
awesome.
flair. They're gonna be all like buttoned up.
So is there a charge for this
No,
scavenger
no,
hunt, or
these are
just
free.
it's
It's
with
free,
the
yeah.
admission?
All right, so now we're here with Aaron. We're going to hear about this huge event coming up in August, the sesquicentennial, the 150th birthday of Hoover.
That's right.
All right, tell me a little bit about what's going to happen.
Well, so every year, typically what we do is there's Hoover's Hometown Days down here in West Branch. It is a massive event that essentially they block off the entire downtown. And it is a celebration, right? And normally it's kind of limited to people in town. There are some people from outside of town that might come. But with it being on Herbert Hoover's 150th birthday, we really wanted to make a point to go all out. So there's a lot of different events that we have planned, a lot of special things going on. A couple of them I can share, a couple of them we're a couple of months away from making it official. So I'll tell you when we're not rolling.
Right.
But I will tell you this. So we do have some special things that we've never done before. So I'll start with one.
Okay.
So one of the special things that we're going to do is we're going to actually bring back some of the descendants of the Hoover family to speak to the public and to speak essentially in a free form way to talk about what does it mean to be a Hoover, right? What does it mean to have the Hoover legacy as a part of their lives? And truthfully, it's an opportunity that we've really never had before.
Yeah.
One of the things that we do a lot here is we're very much interested in things of the nature of more academic based, right? We're going to bring in historians. We're going to provide people with information that they otherwise wouldn't have. But ultimately, for something like this, what we really want to do is give everyone an opportunity to learn something new. So it's not just about sitting there listening to a lecture, doing something different. This is very informal. It's meant to really be something that's for everybody.
Okay. And so how many descendants are there that are coming? Maybe I should phrase that are coming.
So the three that we'll have speaking will be Margaret Hoover, so the great-granddaughter of Herbert Hoover, Leslie Hoover-Lobel, and Alan Hoover III. So those three will be essentially the ones on the stage serving as our subjects, if you will, our interviewees. And truthfully, I think one of the nice things about it is they're always here for Hometown Days. They're always involved in the community. And as I kind of already mentioned to you, it's almost like an informal, family reunion for them because it's a big celebration, right? So to be able to have them come back and participate in something like this on such a momentous occasion, it really is going to be a lot of fun for us to be able to have them all come together like that.
And it's nice to have other people pick up the tab for your family reunion by throwing a big party. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty special.
And to have them, so they're going to be doing that. We talked a little bit already about the scavenger hunt that the museum's doing. And then, of course, you've got all the Park Service stuff and everything happening. What kind of a tease would you give for people that maybe don't care about presidents so much as they care about community cool celebrations to get them here?
So that's a great question. And I think one of the things that makes this year unique is that it's very much meant to be a cohesive, family-friendly, all-day event. So it will literally start in the morning with the Mayor's Parade on that Saturday, August 10th. Now you can't come on the 9th. There are things happening that Friday night. The fire station does a tremendous concert where they typically serve beverages and food, and it's a a lot of fun, something that my wife and I never miss, to be very clear. So there's always something happening Friday night, but that Saturday morning, 10 a.m., you can go see the Mayor's Parade, where everyone will come through downtown, and it usually goes on for about 30 to 45 minutes, so it's a pretty lengthy parade, and you know how it is with candy. Everybody wants to catch the candy that's being thrown out at the parade. That's a big thing for me. I've been told to watch out how much candy I eat, though. I've been working hard on this body.
What was President Hoover's favorite piece of candy? Do you guys throw that out?
That's a great question.
You guys get your float and throw out Herbert Hoover's candy?
So this year, we're getting to make a float for the first time in a while this year.
Nice.
Our facility manager is going to be kind of leading that charge. So what exactly that looks like remains to be seen. But here's what I can tell you. I can tell you plenty of Herbert Hoover stories, but I can tell you his drink of choice instead of his candy of choice.
They will not be throwing that out.
No, I don't believe that's a thing. That's a part of it. So his essential drink of choice was a martini.
Oh.
And as he got older, with age, was told essentially, hey, you may want to cut it back. Now, he wasn't a big drinker, right? He only had 2 martinis, only with dinner, and that was all he did. But as he got older, the doctor essentially makes the recommendation, you may want to consider cutting back to 1. So what does he end up doing? He asks one of his aides to create a martini glass that will hold 2 instead of 1. So he did hold true to his promise, just not in the way that was typically expected.
Not the letter of the law, more the spirit.
Well, when in Rome, right?
Awesome. All right, so that's August 9th and 10th for the Herbert Hoover celebration of his 150th. So we got the notice that obviously this year's a huge year. It's the 150th,
Yes.
the sesquicentennial for Hoover, and that's going to be in August. What's going to be the thing? Can we know the secret? What's going to be the thing that?
For the Ask an Archivist, Converse with the King Erie. Okay, Lynn is going to bring out some of the Hoover home movies.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's working on. There are a couple, but there's more that she's working on finishing up. Yes, she has to. There's code of color and all this stuff. But anyways, so she's getting a bunch of them ready. So those will be ready for August, and so that'll be fun.
So you even get to come play dress up.
Well, that's pretty fancy. I was going to say, you usually don't dress up for these types of things.
Yeah. So
Is
there's
that
a skirt in there if you want to put it on.
well? It doesn't go with this outfit. Maybe later. Okay, so what did you think?
I really enjoyed my time here. Like, I really didn't know much about Hoover, and I feel like I have such a better grasp on who he was as a person and his presidency. My mom was actually born in 1929, so right in his window of presidency.
I only know Hoover because you get the impression that he was an awful president because everything just went to hell on his watch, and then Roosevelt came and saved the day.
Right.
But you walk through all this and you see what he did in Australia. I mean, he was a gold miner. You don't think about a lot of presidents being gold miners or the Secretary of Commerce. Like, it was impressive.
He's been all over the world. I got a little history about how he got the blame for a lot of the stuff that happened, which you'll have to find out and come here and talk to Spencer yourself.
We're not ruining the mystery, is what we're telling you.
But there is way more to Hoover than I would have thought, I think.
Well, and just some of the connections he made, like there's a wall that talks about his relationship with President Truman. There, we heard a little bit about Laura Ingalls Wilder and that connection to that family.
And who knew?
You just don't think about it. The fact that he was known as sort of like the person that fed people after war. He did after World War I. He did after World War II. I mean, that's what they say he did the best, was feed people. And you just think, oh.
Right, that whole story about the lace and how, they used that lace in Belgium to feed Belgium. I mean, he wasn't just feeding people here, he was helping to feed people around the world.
Yeah. Well, and then they've got the huge event coming up that they do every year. But now we're living in a historical year, 150th. 150 years is huge for a lot of places. And so they have their sesquicentennial coming up. Descendants of the former president being here, they're going to speak. They have all those things going on. And in the museum itself, like we walked through all of it today, and it's 0.03% of everything they have.
Right.
Like you can come in, you can meet with a curator or Spencer or Bridget or whoever and talk about all the unique stuff they have that's not out, or if you have a question, we may have a stack of stuff in the back. And you can go through that and learn all about it, which is great.
I haven't even made it to the gift shop yet.
I know, it's got a lot of cool stuff in it, tons of books about Hoover. Hoover wrote his own books. Like, you think about presidents writing about the time they spent in office and stuff, but he wrote one about fishing, Like, there's all kinds of unique stuff that he did in his 90 years, but you get a real small chunk of it to learn about how awful he was.
Right. Well, and you know, Iowa has a lot of really awesome people who have come up through the years. But there's so many things in Iowa, and especially in West Branch, that you could come and see and find out about that maybe I didn't even know was here.
Well, and you think about it from a time of famous Iowans that grew up or were born in small towns, and how attached many of them feel, whether it's someone like President Hoover, John Carson, whoever it might be. They feel attached to their roots in Iowa, and that's what makes Iowa so special, and what makes a presidential library museum like this even more special, because it really helps the flavor of a town. The community supports it, it supports the community back. It's very symbiotic in its nature.
Yep.
When you're here, though, make sure you stop by the Hoover Presidential Library, because it's fantastic. And there are so many things we didn't talk about that we wish we could have, but now it's your adventure to come take part in.
Everyone here is very helpful. They want to share their knowledge. It was a lot of fun.
We'll see you here.